Welcome to Course 15. In this course, we're focusing on the real-life responsibilities and collaborative practices of cybersecurity professionals. Whether you are working in a small startup or a large enterprise, the principles we're about to explore will help you navigate the demands of daily security operations and cross-functional teamwork. Let's begin now with Module 1, where we explore the daily responsibilities of cybersecurity professionals. I am Bayedo. Let's start by understanding what this module will help you achieve. By the end of this session, you'll be able to master the core daily tasks that are required in cybersecurity. Also be able to apply best practices in responding to incidents. Also, you will be able to enforce security policies that uphold your organization's defense posture, and finally be able to identify and monitor key operational metrics that define your effectiveness. Now, let's walk through what cybersecurity professionals actually do on a daily basis. Let's begin with incident response, which sits at the very heart of cybersecurity operations. Every single day, cybersecurity professionals monitor incoming alerts across various systems and platforms. This is similar to a security guard watching over surveillance cameras. You are scanning for anything suspicious, anything that deviates from normal activity. Once a threat is identified, the very first action is containment, which is stopping the threat before it spreads. But just as important is documenting what happened, who was affected, how it was discovered, and what actions were taken. This entire process follows what's known as the NIST incident response lifecycle, and it's a critical framework in this field. It has 6 steps. Number 1 is prepare. Number 2 is detect. Number 3, contain. Number 4, eradicate. And number 5, recover. And finally, number 6, learn. You can think of this like a medical emergency. You prepare by having a first aid kit ready. And then you detect symptoms when someone says they feel sick. And then you contain the issue, maybe isolating the person or disinfecting an area. Then you eradicate the cause, like treating the illness. And afterwards, they recover. And finally, you learn how to prevent it next time. To manage this process efficiently, professionals rely very heavily on tools like SIM tools, which is security, information, and event management. These tools help detect, correlate, and analyze events in real time, giving you a centralized view of what's happening in your environment. Now, let's talk about vulnerability management, which is another core part of your daily workflow. Just like you regularly check your home for loose wiring or leaks, cybersecurity teams routinely scan systems to identify weaknesses. This may include outdated software, unpatched systems, or misconfigured access permissions. Once vulnerabilities are identified, you assess how severe they are. Not every issue is urgent. Some might just need attention later, while others require immediate fixes. Then you prioritize based on risk and patch the most critical ones first. This is like a triage process in a hospital emergency room. You treat the most life-threatening cases first. Given the sheer scale of IT environments today, this process is best handled through automation. Tools can run scans, rank vulnerabilities, and in many cases deploy patches automatically, saving hours of manual labor and reducing human error. Now, let's explore policy enforcement and compliance, where rules and responsibilities meet real-world execution. Cybersecurity professionals are guardians of their organization's policies. They ensure that employees, systems, and third-party vendors follow established rules that protect sensitive data and maintain regulatory compliance. On the internal side, this involves reviewing access permissions, monitoring logs, checking for violations of security protocols. Think of it like a referee ensuring all players are following the rules during a match. Externally, this may include working with auditors, answering client security questionnaires, and ensuring the organization is compliant with regulations like HIPAA, GDPR, or PCI DSS, depending on the industry. Let's break down a few common types of security policies. Number one is access control policies, which define who can access what, like granting a manager access to payroll systems, but not to medical records. Number two is data protection policies, which guide how data should be encrypted or shared or even deleted, like ensuring sensitive emails are sent with end-to-end encryption. And another one is acceptable use policies, which define what is appropriate when using company devices. For example, blocking access to risky websites or prohibiting the use of personal USB drives. To enforce these rules, cybersecurity teams use monitoring tools that can flag when something is off. For instance, if an employee tries to download sensitive files at midnight from an unusual location. Let's now move into the daily life inside a Security Operations Center, or SOC. SOC teams are the operational backbone of an organization's cybersecurity defense. They're usually structured in tiers. Tier 1 analysts are the front line. They monitor systems, respond to alerts, and escalate when needed. And then the Tier 2 analysts, they go deeper. They investigate alerts to confirm if there's a real incident and gather evidence. And then Tier 3 analysts do proactive work. They conduct threat hunting, they look for indicators of compromise, which is IOC, and identify patterns that others miss. To measure how well the SOC is doing, we use KPIs, key performance indicators. Two of the most important ones are MTTD, or mean time to detect, which tells you how fast you notice a threat. And then we have the MTTR, or mean time to respond, which tells you how quickly you take action after detection. For example, if a phishing email hits your inbox at 10 a.m. and your team identifies it at 10:05 and neutralizes it by 10:20, that's a solid MTTD or MTTR. To help improve these metrics, many SOCs use AI and machine learning to reduce false positives, so your team isn't wasting time chasing down harmless alerts. A case study here. Let's bring all this together with a case study. An organization recently experienced a massive spike in phishing attacks. Employees were receiving convincing fake emails that aimed to steal login credentials. The SOC team immediately turned on their SIM platform. By analyzing email headers, login logs, and IP data, they identified patterns and isolated affected accounts. Simultaneously, the security team rolled out emergency phishing awareness training for staff, showing them what to look for and how to report suspicious emails. Within a few weeks, the result was clear. The company experienced a 50% reduction in phishing-related incidents. And what's the lesson here? Effective tools combined with quick action and user education can dramatically reduce exposure to threats. Let's now summarize everything we've covered in this module. First, the daily tasks of cybersecurity professionals, both internal and external, are very critical to shaping a strong security posture. Second, core functions like incident response, vulnerability management, and policy enforcement are non-negotiable part of your routine. And third, the structure of the SOC, which is the Security Operations Center, and how it functions across tiers helps ensure that threats are detected and neutralized efficiently. Also, metrics like MTTD, which is mean time to detect, and MTTR, which is mean time to respond, they help measure your effectiveness. And finally, automation and continuous monitoring are your biggest allies in staying ahead of evolving threats. Next, we'll explore cross-functional collaboration and how security teams work across departments to build a culture of resilience. And that's what we're going to encounter in Module 2. Let's keep going. Thank you.